Morning, everyone. GILUY ELIYAHU. Okay, do you know what that means? If you're in religious circles, you probably know what that means. It means that sages and people that wanted to pursue things religious would yearn for something called GILUY ELIYAHU, which is like a revelation from God. Okay, when you meet Eliyahu in sort of allegorical terms. So I found a great source that speaks about what Eliyahu is and how it relates to Mashiach, because he's the MEVASER HAGEULAH. Good morning, Yosef. You could spend a lot of time telling stories about people that wanted GILUY ELIYAHU, and there's amazing stories told by Y.Y. Jacobson and the like. Okay, you have a lot of people that do that, and that's awesome. I want to tell you what it means. You'll get the stories elsewhere. There's amazing stories. I want to tell you how it relates to your life. Okay, stories can inspire. They're good. I'm just not it's the best storyteller. I don't have them all. There's other people that do that. I want to take you on a journey into an idea and focus on that. It's like a meditation. It's supposed to be these talks. I want you to really feel, if you believe that what I'm saying has anything to do with the truth. Good morning. I want you to live it. This is not about learning Torah. There's other places for that. This is about inspiring you to want to bring Mashiach. If I'm not doing that, I'm not doing what Eliyahu Navi is supposed to do. The verse speaks about Eliyahu Navi in the present tense. We'll say, I'm sending to you. It says I'm sending to you. It doesn't say I will send Eshlach, because it's an ongoing power that's available. So I don't know. You think I'm talking about some mystical? I'm gonna like having a snuffleupagus. That's what I believe in, the snuffleupagus. Is your belief in Mashiach the belief in snuffleupagus? Right. We want to bring Mashiach. We don't want that. If we can you imagine? We're all talking about the snuffleupagus, a fictional creature. Every time anyone looks there, it's gone. No, I'm telling you, this is real. You look there, you'll see it. That's the difference. And only a fool would not look for the snuffleupagus down the alley if he believed that he might be there. Just take a look. You'll see that, okay, that world didn't exist. But in the Rebbe tells you, would he tell you something that's not true? Okay, so the Rebbe is telling us what kind of time we're living in. And he speaks about it in fascinating terms, because the way the Rebbe emphasized certain things, that became the banner for the Mashiach campaign until what I'm trying to say is today, because I'm finding a different insight, a different way to look at it, okay? Because I know what happened, and particularly from the talk that I'm going to give you today from the Rebbe, Parshas Re'eh, Reish Chodesh Elul, Tafshin Nun Aleph. The Rebbe says an incredible thing. He speaks about our obligation to spread the words that we're going to say in a minute. And even if you don't believe it, what do you think? Should you be disingenuous and tote a belief that you haven't assimilated, you don't really appreciate what it's all about yet? Should you withhold people around you from hearing that message? The Rebbe says no. And I find that fascinating. And I want to understand what that means. Check this out. Simply speaking, the call of the hour is to proclaim and to publicize in every place with words that come from the heart, Kadosh Baruch Hu Aimer, that God says, Al Yedei Avadav Hanavim, through his slaves, his servants, the prophets, L'kol echad ve'echad Yisrael. God is telling every single Jew. Okay? This is what the Rebbe writes. This is what the Rebbe says and edited and wrote. So God is saying through the prophets to every single Jew, Re'ei anechi neisen lifneichem hayem bracha. He quotes the verse in Parshas Re'eh, behold, I am presenting before you, I'm giving you today a blessing, right? V'ad shayeh mamish, to the extent that literally today, Rayim be'einei basar, we see with eyes of flesh, human eyesight, Birchas HAGEULAH HaMitzvah V'Shleima, the blessing of the true and complete redemption. Okay? We see that with eyes of flesh. Good morning. Long time. Welcome back. We see with eyes of flesh the bracha of the true and complete redemption. That is unfolding now. That's what the Rebbe said in 1991. But that's not the point I wanted to say. I'm just building this up to what an idea that really disturbs me. It disturbs me. The Rebbe says here, you could say things that are disingenuous and it has a positive impact. It has a place, like everything in its right place. The Rebbe says that about this, and he emphasizes the importance of that. And that if you don't do that, you're withholding from your family and people around you. That's very hard for me to understand. I want to try and understand this through a source that I found through this sikha. So I don't know if it's directly connected, but it's in this sikha that I found the source that speaks about this concept in a very mystical level that it pertains to ELIYAHU Navi and what his role is in proclaiming the redemption. There's something about proclaiming that's so essential. It defines it there in the source, which we'll hope to get time to go into, that ELIYAHU Navi is fire. Fire. Doesn't say the word fire. That's my word. It's used the word chaykikais, yearning. You're not allowed to say the word yearning anymore. One time I was actually, someone questioned my use of the word yearning. Is maybe that had inappropriate connotations. Another time, I remember, it's a humorous and unfortunate conversation I had with someone, but he was trying to, I don't know, say, did I do the work? And I was saying I did. Did he pay? I don't know, something like that probably. He's a shliach. And he says, or maybe maybe it's not appropriate this time. It's an expression. It's not a pleasant expression, but I don't think it was meant completely inappropriate, the word sucking up to someone. Somehow that came out in the conversation. I don't remember how. Do you suck up to your teacher? Does that mean something inappropriate? I never thought about that until he said it. And it's like, whoa, maybe he's right. I don't know. Never thought about it. What? I grew up with the Addams family. The guy comes down and kisses her hand. That was, I don't know. I never thought about that. Sometimes you wonder, firstly, you don't like the customs we take upon ourselves without knowing their source, which is one. That's why people don't like Gaelic music. That's the problem, I think, that people have. They don't know what this person's. Rabbi Merkur posted something very interesting about someone who said a Chiddush Torah that was derived when he was in an inappropriate place to think Torah. And the Rebbe or Tzaddik, I can't remember who he presented this to, allowed him to tell up to the point where he had to leave to go to the washroom in the middle of his drush. And then he stopped him. He said, I don't want to hear the rest of it. Because that's the part that he invented when he was in the washroom. So the idea of where things come from is so important to Judaism. Like, you can't argue against that. There is truth to that. How you implement it in your life is a very personal question. And how you say things, if it's disingenuous, I think that's a very personal thing. The Rebbe says here, let me get to these words. Maybe we'll just jump to it. Or we'll just say it quick. And we could add and emphasize that in this proclamation, in saying that God tells every Jew that you see the blessings of the true and complete redemption with the eyes of flesh, it's like avert now. And he tells us as a prophecy to emphasize this proclamation. Even this applies even to those who argue that they still don't appreciate the message. So how can I profess something I don't believe? It's disingenuous. B'shleimus, he puts in parentheses. I don't completely feel it. So in other words, okay, I think it's all in the parentheses here. It's an idea that someone's trying to excuse themselves because they haven't fully realized this revelation unto themselves in their own life. So how could they, out of humility, that's where I think it's coming from. It's not a cynicism here. It's a humility. How can I be genuine enough to say this if I don't fully represent? There's some area of my life I'm not proud of. That's what Ella was about to correct that, right? I wrote about that. I'll post it today. About how God sees everything. And what does that mean? Bilam was questioning that, right? Okay, I spoke about that in the cottage. Like, okay, that's lost in cyberspace, that one. But I wrote about it, so that's hopefully the cream of the ideas that come out from speaking to you. So speech has something so fundamental about it that here you're going to see the Rebbe says it's better to speak even if you don't fully realize the dream that you're professing, that you're painting, that you're explaining to people. I haven't completely taken this matter in B'Havana v'Salga v'Hakara Shalahem. If there, he's speaking in the third person. The Kavan Shigam Etzlam Yeshnai Inyan Hamuna B'Shlemus, because they too believe in the depths. They just don't. They're not ready to make that dive into the unknown depths of faith. When you just believe, yeah, you know what, this is true. So even though I don't fully understand it with my mind, I just know that this is true. Why? Because a Jew believes in God. A Jew believes in Mashiach. It's one of the 13 principles of the Jewish faith, the pillars of the Jewish faith. It's possible and therefore necessary, says the Rebbe. And again, in parentheses, he adds word necessary. So like all the nuances in the parentheses. Still, you should say this to others. Beginning with your household, certainly don't let them suffer from the fact that Tati's mind or world has not fully incorporated this into every aspect of his being. And all those he encounters, every single Jew. Then he brings in a footnote, an amazing thing, that every single Jew is considered an important entity al pi halacha. It's the concept of kavua labatal, that's something that's established as a regular. If you're a regular in a bar, you get like cheers. Lai batal. If you're kavua, you never become invisible. Gam keshe yeshnam milvadei oid rabbi mimnei Yisrael, even though there's so many other Jews. What does God care about me? Especially with regard to the true and complete redemption, that's something that's so important to every single Jew as an individual. Even a single Jew will not remain in exile. Then he quotes a verse, Ki im kol yeshveh Allah, or alim, I don't know. It's okay. There's going to be a renewal of creation. Okay, there's a lot of great things in the Sikha. It's going to be visible. And then he talks about the kinar of Mashiach. The harp of Mashiach is going to have 8 notes or 8 strings. But he speaks about the Nitzitz Mashiach. Okay, on this Sikha also. And he quotes a source, Meir 9. Okay, I think I have the source here. He uses a different term. He doesn't call it Nitzitz Mashiach. He uses a Chelik Mashiach, I'm pretty sure. Okay, so I have the source here. I have a few other sources. I guess I'll post them later. It's a shame I don't do it right now, but it'll get me mixed up in technology. I just want to get into this. Okay, this blew me away this morning, and I think it's worthy of a water break because it speaks about my nukvim, right? If I remember correctly. I also have one thing related from Hayom Yom. It speaks about the importance of women with regard to Torah and their role in that. So we're going to see that Torah has 2 aspects, or Tefillah and Torah associated with 2 different things. Torah is associated with thought, and Tefillah with speech. Even though speech needs to be motivated by thought, right? Or else it's just meaningless. And even quotes that here. Okay, so the Hayom Yom is very fascinating, and it even I have an explanation on it. The Rebbe here emphasizes again the importance of Kabbalas El, of receiving the yoke of heaven, just doing it because it's right? Even if you don't take in the message, you still speak it, you still tell other people, you don't hold that back and cause people to suffer because you're going to withhold it. Okay, I think that the idea is that you haven't taken it completely. But someone who's just saying this, that he doesn't really believe it, give me a break. Those words are not going to come from the heart anyways, and it's not going to have the desired effect. I don't think the Rebbe is speaking about that. You can't say it if you don't believe it. At least summon in yourself when you're saying it some type of excitement and genuine enthusiasm that exists at the level of Muna with every person. Okay, so it says here that the idea of Ben Obas, okay, because we spoke about the different roles in learning Torah that women have to men. So you have a son and a daughter. Bas Raimez elevated Kabbalah's El, because a daughter represents the concept of submitting to God. Humishum de'akroi ve'asnoi v'natrin. Aval ba'achas misich. Oh, sorry, did I miss a line? Yeah, I just skipped a line. I'm sorry, you're totally gone out of place. It says, Shabas Raimez elevated Kabbalah's El aderech maimer zal isha kshera eisa ritzain baila. It says a kosher woman does the will of her husband. So there it has the connotation of being submissive to her husband. Whereas a child, a son, is an allusion to meaningful service when you know why you're doing it. A daughter represents doing it anyways, out of love and devotion. Okay, that's why the way I interpret Kabbalah's El. I don't think it means this disingenuousness of doing it anyways, begrudgingly. I don't think that's what it means ever when the Rebbe says that. I think that's a very big mistake. I think that's the way people interpret it, and it's wrong. That's called a skafia. It's different than the Aveda of Kabbalah's El. Kabbalah's El means doing something out of loving duty, not dutiful love. Okay, someone should type that one up for me. I think that's a nice coinage. Okay, Lahavin Yinin Nakdim Pasuk. First, we're going to tell you the verse, okay? I'm going to just dive into this now. The source is, it's Ma'aranayim Parshas Pinchas towards the end. Okay, Lahavin Yinin Nakdim Pasuk Hine Anech Shlech Lechem Es ELIYAHU Navi. To understand what we said above, which I didn't tell you what you said above, because I want to focus on this, but trust me, it will make sense. The verse is, behold, I, Anechi, and I, God, Sheleach Lechem, I present tense, send to you, ELIYAHU Navi, Elijah the prophet, Lifnei Bay, it says before the great day comes, Begamer, the Lashon Sheleach Heveh. The fact that it says I'm sending, that means it's an ongoing thing. The mashma af achshav, even now it's ongoing. It doesn't say I'm going to send you. The truth is that all of the yearning of the Jewish people, the servants of God, they who serve their Father in heaven, they're totally, all their yearning comes from the aspect of you. Okay, you don't have to be a big tzaddik to have this. This is an aspect that you have now called ELIYAHU. Okay, you have GILUY ELIYAHU. You have that in you right now. That's what you're learning. Shehu MEVASER l'kol davar. That is a level of emunah that the Rebbe is speaking about here. That goes to the depths, that you do believe it, right? It says that Yisrael ma'aminim bnei ma'aminim. Jews are believers, sons of believers. Everyone believes, okay? Whether you think you're a cynic or not, you believe in the depths. Right, when the car is going across the weaving across the highway and smashed into a barrier, like I told about my birthday, I don't know, 20, 30 years ago, you believe in God. What do you think you're screaming to? Your Getchka? Shalom. You call out to Hashem and you mean it. You just don't need to have that always happening to be able to live life like that. The gratitude that should be present in every moment. Okay, but here we're learning about a force in you that's called yearning, that exists at every moment. It's called the aspect of ELIYAHU and Navi in you. Because he heralds everything. He proclaims, and you don't understand what a king is because we don't have that in our culture, but we have it through Hollywood, and Hollywood depicts the culture of royalty to us. Or also, some people have it, if they're British in particular, such a concept. We don't know what a queen. I don't know what a queen is or a king. But we have it through pop media. We just are exposed to these images. It's interesting that I just was thinking about this. That's why I'm saying that the most prominent idea of a king would probably be from the Middle Ages, or in Britain probably, with a beard, interestingly, and old-fashioned monarchy dress. Okay, they've updated it a little bit in GFT, but whatever. No, I don't watch GFT. Okay. So what does he proclaim? What is his heraldry? So I'm just saying the role of the herald. You don't understand what that means because you know what a king is to herald. Before the king would be runners. You can look in Tanakh. It speaks in Shmuel Beis, I think, about Shlomo Melech. They had runners before him and how important that was. They'd hollow out their heels so they could run faster, and they had horses and chariots. And look at Yosef, okay, in the Chumash. Paraded before that's how he got his shidduch, and he's parading, and all the girls were climbing up the walls to see him, and the Torah has to teach us that. oh, you, okay, I'm not going to go there. I'm not going to get into it. I've spoken about these ideas enough. So what is Eliyahu? It's the force that heralds, that proclaims, l'chol davar shehu shleimus, everything that is complete and whole. I spoke about it usually in the concept of Adam, a person that has shleimus. He has everything. What here it defines it as Torah utfila. Learning Torah, understanding God's will and wisdom, the tefillah, your ability to express your appreciation and dependence upon God. Shehu yichud shalem. In what sense is this complete? Because that represents a complete unity. But it describes a unity here, not necessarily between just the classic, between you and God. I think it's saying something different here. And it ends off with this theme also. So that's why I'm just thinking it's not just the way the words appear on the page. It says, Yichud Shalem Kaneda B'machshav V'dibur Shehu Yichud Gomar. But then he says, as is known, B'machshav V'dibur, with thought and speech. I guess they both represent aspects, okay? But here it's talking about the soul powers of thinking and speaking. One is very superficial compared to its source, which is thought. Shehu Yichud Gomar, but they connect in a perfect way. So this is a source quoted in the Rebbe Sikha there. I told you where the Rebbe says you should, even if you don't have the shleimus in your, the Rebbe says it's people that argue, okay? So it's a bit of a cynical thing. But people who say, you know what, I don't feel it completely, then how could I say the words? It's disingenuous. Here we speak about a yichud between seichel and dibur, of machshav and dibur. Thought and speech have a unity. There's a point that they actually communicate perfectly. And Mekadim Zeh, so that is the yearning towards that unity. We're going to see that there's two levels. There's Eliyahu and there's Mashiach. Eliyahu is, in effect, he's the MEVASER, but he's the one that gives the yearning for the unity. Think about that. The whole concept of a preparation for something. That's the way I interpret that verse. I've never seen it. I had one source that resonated with that, though. And I think it's quoted in here, actually. Somewhere I just saw those words recently. Oh, it's on my source page somewhere. I got to get to that because I think that's an awesome statement from the Arizal. We sing it every Friday night, I think. Yeah. So we have two stages. The yearning, which is a MEVASER. I don't think it necessarily associates it with speech. But it calls him a MEVASER, the one who proclaims. But here it really speaks of the yearning. So is there a connection between speech and the saliva that it produces when you speak about a lemon? And see if you're not salivating, even though we don't like the taste of lemon. But okay, a nice turkey, juicy turkey, you'll salivate. There's a connection between speech and bringing out his erus and arousal, some kind of response from the body. This has to be experienced through the body. So the Rebbe says in that sikha, okay, that it's happening now. The Rebbe says, okay, look in the whole thing I was just saying before. Maybe I'll put that source also if you don't believe me. So there's a yearning, and then what are you yearning for? You're yearning for a yichud. What's the yichud here that we're talking about in this context? It's a very mystical idea of the unity between thought and speech, that you're totally genuine. Your speech is only articulating your deepest thought, but here we're going to put a slightly different angle than that. Okay, let's look at the way it's presented here. In this teaching from a Chassidish Rebbe called, what was it again? Me'or Einayim, Parshas Pinchas, okay? But it's quoted by the Rebbe, so it's fascinating when the Rebbe quotes Chassidus from other streams of Chassidus. I think, isn't that such a green light that people have to be so crazy as not to quote other sources? Or else you become like a not card-carrying Lubavitcher? Give me a break. And if I wonder if you say, put on Goyish music, that would be the end of the world, obviously, in that very refined laser beam existence. But that, okay, maybe it's right. I'm not saying it's wrong. Just saying it's not for me, per se, right now, in this venue. I'll play any music, I don't care. I'll play Jimi Hendrix. What's the difference? If you're on the internet, there's people that aren't on the internet, okay? To me, that's bewildering. It's like, do I not tie my shoelaces, or do I have like moccasins? That's how foreign it would be to me, because I wasn't a pioneer of the internet, but I was there from the beginning. I was a web designer. I was there. I ran a server or whatever, hosting. So that's like part of my world. It's like, okay, so So what does it mean to be genuine? And how do you bring that out? So do you yearn for a unity that happens to be with God? We yearn for unities of other sorts, perhaps, right? Do you yearn to connect to that hockey moment? Okay, that's good. Do you yearn to connect to your pizza? Ugh. If you think about it, if you only limited your experience to that, it's very pig-like or very grub. The trick is to have the merging, the unity of the thought and the speech, or in this case, action, which is a lower manifestation also. But speech is there's a speech act. The murmuring of your lips is constitute an action also in Torah. Okay, so the two things are connected always. But here we're speaking about a more subtle relationship between thought and speech, and that's called the unity of Mashiach. That Eliyahu is going to make our desire. He's going to bring out a desire, and this is a power that exists at all times. How much more so right now when the Rebbe says this is happening? The Rebbe and HaKadosh Baruch Hu is telling Knesset Yisrael right now that the blessing, the true and complete redemption is here. That's what the Rebbe said. Through his prophets, the Rebbe said. Who is he talking about? David HaMelech, Shlomo HaMelech, Yirmiyahu, Yeshayahu. Who is he speaking about? Himself. Okay. The emes who should call it Sheikh Yisrael Evdei Hashem Lavim Shemfraim Well Yidei Bechines Eliyahu Shu Mevaser L'Chol Davar Shu Shleimus Kegen Terer Tefillah. Okay, I said all this. Shehu Yichud Shalom Kanei Machshav Didi Shehu Yichud Gomer B'Makedem Zeh. Before you can have this unity of thought and speech and be completely genuine, what do you have to have? You have to have Eliyahu. You have to have this fire that is called here Tzarich Tshukah Gdela, a great yearning, V'Cheshek Gadol, and a great marveling or exhilaration. It's probably the best term in English for this. Cheshek Gadol. Or maybe exhilaration means like you're actually experiencing it. I wonder if cheshek means you're not quite experiencing it yet. Cheshek, you pine for something. You have to have it now. Even if you don't have it, you have to have it now. Shuka means a yearning that you can probably contain. Cheshek is you have to have it now. V'zehu al yidei b'chinas Eliyahu. This comes from the aspect in you called Eliyahu, which arouses in you your desire, Mekedem. That's the prior yearning. And afterwards, it brings about the unity we described in Mashiach. Because certainly with every proper prayer, which is the unity of thought and speech. That's what prayer is. The most genuine expression of the unity. That's Mashiach in your day. I've been trying to tell you this for days and days on end, and now I have the bandwidth to not shut up. Okay? So here's the message. It's all about tefillah. This, to me, is part of tefillah. I am davening with you right now. So what's proper tefillah? Shehu b'yichud machshav v'dibur. You have to have thought and speech. It speaks in Kunshas Avayda about each role, what it plays. Okay. I can't get into that again. Look back to my early ones. The Dibur Nasa Tikkun Mechinas Mashiach. It establishes the concept of Mashiach. Kamei Shebabiyas Mashiach Tidkenu, as it will be. Okay, now we just spoke about. There's going to be Bias Mashiach, which is going to be a king sitting on a throne. But there's going to be the unity prior to that, a yearning for the unity that will establish Mashiach, and we're going to see that resonates with the idea of first it happening in the individual before Mashiach sits on the throne, which is Bias Mashiach. So he says, I want that to come soon. He wants that to come, right? We want the whole world to be redeemed and have this experience. Have this mystical experience also, even though they don't know what mysticism is when you're eating chicken wings or whatever with hot sauce. Soon it's going to be constant. Okay, the way you get in tefillah in your best moment or ever emotional experience you had that is akin to what you're supposed to have in tefillah, then it's going to be constant when Mashiach comes. Then there's going to be the elevation of all thoughts and letters, shehu adibur, which means speech. The letters are the aspect of speech, even within thought. Okay, you can have to look that up. So too is every person. At the time of davening and learning Torah, bechinas Mashiach, at the level of, it doesn't say bibi bechinas, it says bechinas, but this is the aspect of Mashiach. And maybe he's not aware of it, maybe he's not tapping into it, I don't know. But this is what's happening. The yearning that Eliyahu introduces into you allows you to put intensity into your Torah and Tefillah, your learning Torah and your prayer, and that brings about this unity of thought and speech, because to do it properly, to be genuine, you have to have this unity. That's Mashiach. There's some aspect of speaking about it and to get yourself going. That's probably the aspect of Eliyahu, MEVASER HAGEULAH. He brings yearning through proclaiming. There is this connection of Eliyahu with speech. So he comes from the speech side to bring it up to the thought side, which is really Mashiach. That's a yichud at the level of Mashiach. We're going to see it. Okay, maybe we'll stop here. I think that's the whole idea. Oh, but then it stops with, it goes on with the beautiful words. Okay, I have to go a little bit further. Bechinas Mashiach hayichud hazeh. This unity, shehu said binyan kaimas Mashiach. This is the secret of constructing the stature of Mashiach. You want to have a king sitting on a throne? This is how you do it. And it goes on to speak about that. So really I have to do that, because this is the source that I've been quoted for this idea that there's an individual part of Mashiach in each person. I might have to skip a bit to get there. Kimaim Baal Shem Tov Nishmasa Begin Ze Raimim. As it's saying in the Baal Shem Tov, his soul is in this treasured parts of the heaven. This is the part I wanted to get to. Okay, good. And it's in the name of the Baal Shem Tov. The Rebbe quotes that in the footnote to this. He says he puts in the name of the Baal Shem Tov, so it has more resonance even with Shittas Chabad here, because we associate with the Baal Shem Tov and the Magid and the Alter Rebbe. The Baal Shem Tov teaches that every single person has to correct and prepare the aspect of the stature of Mashiach that relates to his soul. If you're the toenail of Mashiach, be the best toenail of Mashiach you could be. And if you have the full DNA of Mashiach in your toenail, you have to have a perfection and shleimus unto yourself, and as you relate to every single person. That's what a Jew is. He has that paradoxical relationship of unique relationship with you and God, nothing else, as well as a unity with other Jews. It resonates at both levels, microcosm, macrocosm, whatever terminology pulls your bell. The word Adam, Shleimus, is always associated with Adam. That is Adam, the first man, David, the first Mashiach, and Mashiach, the second Mashiach, the fullness of Mashiach. So everyone has the aspect of Shleimus. They're all called Adam, because Adam Arishan, the first man, he had physical stature from one end of the world to the other. He included all the Jewish souls within him, because that's what means that he had the full stature from one end to the other. He had all the souls within him. He shrunk down after the sin, right? So the Mashiach is going to be a whole stature. He's going to include every single soul of the Jewish people. You have a part of the Rebbe in you, and he has you rooted in him. It's the yin yang. We're taking us back to before the sin and primordial man, paradise on earth, the Garden of Eden. Got to get back to the garden. Okay, now we have a call to action. Every person has the responsibility to prepare the portion of Mashiach that's relevant to him in his soul until he fixes and prepares it, until a kaima, until it has a full stature. Call a kaima. You're gonna have the call completeness unto yourself. You need to Mashiach is a whole thing. You need nothing else. It's going to result in a king sitting on the throne and every single person having that also. And you have to shed whatever light you've seen in your life. You have to share that with other people. That's what the Rebbe is teaching in the Sikha. And that's the source that, okay, this is more general, but the Rebbe took it in this direction. Okay, is that enough? But then he associates again with the Yichud of Machshav and Dibur, Shemachshav and Nishvas Dibur. Oh, that's beautiful words. That the thought is the soul of your speech. It has to be genuine ultimately. Just don't prevent other people from, by your humility or your cynicism, by saying it's not complete in me. I don't walk the talk the completest, most complete way. Are you considered about Tshuva if you go from modern Orthodox to Chasidus? No. If you're in modern Orthodox and you don't have the Chassidic concepts, then probably you have a long way to go. But I think that most of the Chassidic concepts have permeated the entire world. It's just the emphasis is different. So I think It's a matter of emphasis and aveda, how much aveda. And it doesn't necessarily mean that if you grow up in a Chabad environment, a Hasidic environment, that you're going to have it taking on these ideas into your lifestyle. So this is what my eldest son always tells me, and I agree with him. A beard doesn't mean you're from. So he likes to trim his beard. Okay, so I say, but it's a mitzvah in the Torah, so come on. Okay, we have that debate. But he's got a point. I don't agree with him. I don't think the Tzemach Tzedek would agree with him with Paskin that you have to have a beard. So the Shitas Chabad is you have to have a beard. You can't trim it. Some people eat their beards to get around that, right? Or burn it off or something. I don't know. You don't think there's an aesthetic that's also associated with Torah? Torah stops short of aesthetics, okay? Sometimes my kids come down in a tank top to make Abdullah. Right? Immediately after Shabbos, they got to take off the Shabbos clothes, put on the tank top. Bare shoulders, okay? Burly men coming into the Abdullah ceremony. I remember my first Abdullah ceremony. I had to do it once by myself. Went home after I was in yeshiva for 9 months or so. And my brother was there, my older brother with his friend. He was a tough guy also. Both tough. And they were in the room next door, but I don't want to see. It was my first time doing it. I was juggling this stuff. I didn't know what to do. The Baal Tshuva has to face challenges. So you talk about Baal Tshuva. Okay, the difference between Mashiach and Nitzitz Mashiach, or the Nitzitz Mashiach in your day, which is when you're davening, and you don't necessarily carry that on through the entire day at the same level, but it will be eventually. That exists. So you have the Mashiach in your moment in your day. You want to draw that on through the whole world. That's what it's going to be through your whole day, rather. That's the way it's going to be. Mashiach comes. It's going to be B'tmidus. But that exists on an individual level. So you can have that now completely. Tzaddik Gomer and a Tzaddik to do tshuva right now before Mashiach HaKlali. How do you know? Okay, I have sources. This is my source. Okay, I have the source. I can give you the page. I can give you the exact source. The Rebbe says it's going to be prior to the general Mashiach. It's going to be a messianic experience in each individual Jew. Here the source told only one thing, that every Jew is important. It's Davar Chashav Ein Batal. He's never going to be nullified, okay? But then I have a source here also. I highlighted the page. I didn't put a bookmark there, but I highlighted, here it is. It's on page 497 in this. Okay, here's the thing. Page 497, footnote 74. It begins with the redemption. And he also used the term of Bias Mashiach, which we just said before. That means when Mashiach sits on a throne, but not so. There's a Mashiach sitting on a throne in the individual's world also. Good morning. And that's the beginning of the whole process. Shebakol echad v'echad Yisrael, in every single Jew. It's going to be Bias Mashiach also, not just Maskil Haiskalis. And then he says, Ubias Mashiach. Okay. Umaskil Haiskalis. It begins with the revelation of, and the Bias Mashiach of each individual. Ki yadu me'pasek dara keichel Yisrael, shekayel melech Mashiach, Yerushalmi, gam al kol echad v'echad Yisrael, asher kevin sheyesh bei nitzutz nishmas Mashiach, meir enayim, say Parshas Pinchas. He quotes the source that I just read you. So that's the Rebbe's source for this, okay? If you want to question the Rebbe's sources, meir enayim, Parshas Pinchas, the Sefer. There you go. Because the Rebbe paskins how to interpret this, because I didn't really interpret that way. But the Rebbe says that's the beginning of the redemption. It will happen with each person. Nobody gets that. Nobody gets that. If they did, they'd put seminars on how you can reveal the Nitzitz Mashiach in you. Where do you see such a seminar? Give me a break. What's happening? We've said enough about the parasha. I'm talking Parshas Pinchas here, and start talking Parshas Balak in this week's coming editorial. It doesn't matter the parsha. We have a job now. The parsha now is Mashiach. That's the only parsha there is. If you're talking Parshas Pinchas in the middle of the summer or the end of the summer, get with the program. That's the parsha. Make a seminar. How can I reveal Mashiach in me right now? The Rebbe says today. I'm not making it up. I'm not getting hyper because I came up with a great chap. I came up with this great idea. Let's make a cult and we'll bring Mashiach, and yeah. These are the Rebbe's words. This is the Torah. You don't like it? Find a better Talmud Chacham. I challenge you to that. Okay? Find a better Talmud Chacham and follow it. Live for that Talmud Chacham's teachings. Because you have that. totally within your prerogative and your rights and your whatever and your mission in life. But listen to what I'm telling you. This is the words of the prophet, not my words. It's the Rebbe's words. He says in the word name of prophecy. I gave you one source, another source in that year in Parsha Shoftim. Bigger source, much bigger source. A direct statement of prophecy that you cannot say otherwise, except that it was a prophecy in our time. If you wanted me to prove it to you, my windows and mailboxes are all open. Throw a note in the window. Don't break the window. Open it first. It's unlocked. Mashiach's gazing through the cracks of exile. He's waiting for us to see that we're looking back at him. He's waiting for that moment. Do it in every avenue, every area. If you don't like deep mystical thoughts, so don't listen to me. Watch somebody else that talks about your thing, or reveal Mashiach in medicine or science, or I don't know, whatever your thing is. Lego, yoga, whatever it is. Be passionate about it. That's ELIYAHU, MEVASER HAGEULAH. That's the passion that the Rebbe is speaking about in that Yom Yom I wrote about it 2 or 3 weeks ago. That made the Messenger Magid a disciple. It's the fire, your passion in what you say. Believe it. The Rebbe is mocking this person in a sense, not in a negative way. The person that says, you know what, I don't take this completely to heart. So how can I say this message over? I can say shit now because take it to heart. That's the Rebbe is saying. You have that emunah within you. Reveal it. And then you will say it in most genuine, because look at the source that I quoted. It's all about the unity of thought and speech of all sources. Give me a source that tells me you should just say words and that's all that's required. You'll find 1,000 sources like that. It's not what the Rebbe directed me to. Okay, it's not directly related to this idea, but it's in the same sikha, okay? The same speech of the Rebbe. Quoted these 2 sources. They have to be consistent. He didn't change the sheet in the middle of it, in the potato chips. Good morning. The mailman. You have to say hello to everyone, even Gentiles. Maktim shalom l'chol. Okay, I know I pronounced it wrong. Mikdam shleim kol adam. Something like that. At least according to the version I had. All the versions of vowels are just like custom or snob or peel or whatever. Okay, Belchu will never say it right. Unless you start playing the violin at like age 4, you're not going to be Stradivarius's grandson. Whoever Stradivarius was. He made a nice violin, I think. Okay, I think I covered the topic and I'm just circling and rambling. So thank you for allowing me that extra luxury of like my therapy at the end of my, to try and like face the universe after like burning it up, hopefully. Dark Phoenix style. The other day, my water, it was hiding, in case you're wondering where the snuffleupagus went. It was behind something in the backseat of my car. Okay, I couldn't have figured that out. It disappeared. I was convinced it disappeared. The Sasquatch of Canada came and schlepped it out of through the window without me noticing. Snuffleupagus, I think that was a good theme here. So if someone wants to just mark that word down, maybe I'll be able to pick it up. I think that's important here. Snuffleupagus is, do you really believe? If you really believed, other people would see the snuffleupagus, okay? You won't hide it. It will be revealed in you in the genuine integrity of every moment of your life, okay? You can make the snuffleupagus in you, the doubter in you, real, and everyone will see it too, okay? If there's a real elephant in the alley, maybe he doesn't have fur. Maybe there's a real elephant in the alley. Someone should go out, just go out to see, test it out. Take the Boruch Merkur Ice Bucket Challenge. I dare you, 1 week. Take the challenge. Be optimistic for 1 week. Bring health into your life for 1 week. Get up early in the morning and learn some Torah. 1 week. See if it changes your whole life. I bet you it will. If not, I'll make it real. I will do the Ice Bucket Challenge if you tried this for a week and it didn't succeed. There we go. Now I made it real. I put my money where my mouth is. That's what this is all about, speech, right? The unity of thought and speech. The unity of Ice Bucket. Thank you. It's awesome to hear. Thank you so much. Okay, so do it for a week. And I guess I have to stream it. That would be hard to set up. I got to get my selfie stick really well balanced for that one. No, I've never done an Ice Bucket Challenge. But I think jumping in the lake is bigger than that. Because it's colder, it's not colder. But the shock is more comprehensive. It's more of a, what's the way you call it? Immersion experience, literally. Okay, thanks for coming out. I know some of you are just getting me towards the end, but you know, you can rewind the thing. Matrix rewind. It will be fun to take the script of the Matrix and analyze. I know people have done that, but to take it, just use it as a model of a speech on Chassidus. Why not? If it draws people in, I think it's fantastic. If you take Dark Phoenix enthusiasts, put them in a room and teach them about Chassidus concepts that resonate with that image of a flaming bird that bursts up the universe with energy, raw energy. No, I didn't see that stupid movie that got 23% on Rotten Tomatoes. No, I did not. If I'm flying at a plane, though, I might be tempted and I might watch it. Because you just feel like, you're not supposed to be like that, though. It's better I should write an editorial while on flight. What's the difference between when I'm on flight or I'm standing in line to buy tomatoes? Okay, that's it. My minion's calling me. Louder than you are. If there was a tug of war, you'd probably win. Yes, it's true. Have a great day, everyone. I'm exhausted.